And, you know, have Steppin with Marcus J. We live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. We appreciate everybody who is listening to us tonight. We appreciate the love we get. And we just had our brother BG Yow, who represents the pregame. You can hear those brothers and a sister every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Special thank you to our brother K-Dub, who joined us here on the show earlier on here in the evening. We're going to go ahead and kind of transition towards the end of the show. We're going to do something a little bit different here tonight. We normally do our segments, and then we get into our rants, and then we get into our closings. But what we're going to do a little bit different than that is we're going to do just a couple of really quick stories here in this segment, and then we're going to get right into our rants and closing. So we're done with breaks. No more breaks tonight. As we do every single week, we always profile a missing and or exploited child. So, of course, we need to get that out here first. The missing child that we're profiling tonight is a young brother by the name of Taquan Hill. Taquan Hill has been missing since December 3rd, 2014 from right here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. He's a black male, stands 5'4", weighs 305 pounds. He was last seen on December 3rd, 2014 wearing a red and black jacket, blue shirt, black jeans, and black sandals. If you have seen young Taquan Hill, please contact the National Center for Missing and or Exploited Children on their website, missingkids.com, or contact them by phone at 1-800-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. Let's try to see if we can bring these children home. This young brother, Taquan Hill, he's from our hometown, Joe. He's from our hometown, Tony. We need to try to see if we can keep our eyes on him. Ain't no half step with Marcus. All right, two quick things I want to get to. They both going to make you turn your head to the side and say, what the hell? We're going to say what the hell, and then we're going to get the hell up out of here. All right, Tony, you up first. I'm getting this one here from our local NBC affiliate, Channel 12, WNBC, live on your side, or whatever their little tagline is. I try to give them, you know, their just due, but it's too much stuff. I can't remember all that. Pastor's wife fined. Ask me why she got fined. Ask me again, why she get fined?
Why did she get fined?
She got fined because she was praying too loud. Man, don't want to hear all that stuff.
What?
Yeah, this one is from North Dakota. She has been fined for praying too loudly on the city sidewalks. After 2 court dates and paying $150 in fines for, quote, unnecessary noise, Martha Nagby isn't giving up on sharing her faith. Quote, I can't stop. I'm trusting God. Nagby said the police told her to stop praying downtown in the area neighborhood. She moved from Liberia to this country for an opportunity, but she feels she's being denied her rights. The Lisbon, North Dakota police chief told us that Nagby's loud praying is, quote, disturbing the peace. We all need prayers, and great, she's out there praying for all of us, but it's just the volume of her voice, Police Chief Jeanette Parsons is saying. So, what you think about this story, Tony?
Same thing I thought about the trash man. Noise disturbance. Illegal. Should have got a fine. Lock her up, too.
You all right with her going to jail for praying?
If that's the law.
Okay. So
It's not about the praying. It's not about the praying. It's about the noise disturbance. That's what it's about. There are ordinances.
So... well, let's get Joe's comment in and we can round table. Joe?
Disturbing the peace.
You pray too loud, lady. Knock it off.
Hey, disturbing the peace. At least she didn't go to jail. She got fined, though, $125. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, she here's the deal, man. Here's where y'all lose me. Tony, I think you crazy as hell. And Joe, you just as nutty as a fruitcake, just like she is.
Why?
Because just because it's a law don't mean that it makes common sense. Like I don't care about these laws, man. Like we know, as people in this country, we know that there's laws that are not just and fair. Doesn't matter if we're talking about these specific noise ordinance laws. Okay, talked about the guy with the trash pickup. We're talking about the lady praying. let's take them out of the, out for a minute. Can we accept and acknowledge that there are some laws that are unfair and unjust? Let's just yes or no question.
Yes.
Tony, yes or no question?
Yes.
Okay. So if we can acknowledge and accept that there are some laws that are unfair and unjust, can we, Joe and Tony and Marcus J., can we use our own opinions and common sense and have our own opinions and common sense and address the situations that we came up with and not utilize the fact that because it's a law, then it must be the way it was presented or the way it was determined as the end all be all? Can we do that? Like, I mean, really, can we use some common sense here? You think it's okay to go to freaking jail because you was taking trash too early in the morning and you made noise? You really think it's okay to get a fine for praying? Like, at some point, we have to say, you know what? We can accept that the law is what the law is in that area. But we as individuals have our own opinion. And I'll be honest with you, I think it's weak of the two of you to rely on the crutch of saying, because it's the law, then so be it. That's weak. Weak. Called you weak. You say what?
I don't give a damn what you said.
You think I give a damn that you don't give a damn?
Nah, we really just don't give a damn.
Then you got two not giving a damns up in here.
Right. My opinion is, well, I'm going to stand by my opinion.
I ain't asking you to change it. I'm just asking you to bring it up.
Like I said,
about it again.
Whether I agree
with,
yeah, a little bit.
All right, take a sip.
Hold on.
Yeah, take a sip, man.
Y'all are too much.
All right. You want to sit, Tony?
No, thank you. I'm good.
All right.
Okay.
You finished?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Now. I'm coming. Hold up. I said I'm coming. Hold up. I just flashed back. No, I mean, I still stand by my opinion that ignorance of the law doesn't circumvent you getting in trouble about it. Now, did I say that the laws were right? No. Did I say that the laws were always just? No. Simply said that the law is the law. And you don't have to like it. You know, BG made a point about, about speeding. Yeah, if you get caught speeding in a 25-mile-per-hour neighborhood in Chesterfield, guess what's going to happen? If you it might give you a ticket. They might let you go. If you continuously do it, you're a habitual offender and you need to go to jail. Because you're just going to do what you want to do. And the governing bodies in our good United States, them white folk been good to us. They allowed us. Did I do it? Don't cut my mic off.
You really feel that way?
No.
Because if you do it, I feel that way.
You know what? Why every time?
Hey, man, you can't win with me. You will never win with me.
Hey, listen. It's all good. You know what? We agree to disagree, and we don't have no harsh feelings about it. Like I said, I'm half Republican.
He is definitely.
And half, But still, I just think that as much as you want to debate the point that it's wrong to send a person to jail for doing a job, that's not why he went to jail. He went to jail for disobeying the law of the land. That's all.
No, I got you. I mean, I don't think that I'm clear on why he went to jail. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not under any illusion where I'm thinking that he went to jail because of that. Like, I know he went to jail because he broke the law. Well, my issue is it's kind of a crazy ass jacked up law. Like, you sending people to jail because they're making noise. Like, to me, that's crazy to me. And, I wake up every single morning, like, I don't have to even set my clock. Like, I know my neighbor's dog's going to bark every morning at 5:28, every single morning when I look at the clock. It's within a few minutes of that amount of time. You know what I mean? And so what am I going to do about that? Am I going to call the police every single time that the dog barks and wakes me up? And if I did, am I going to be okay with my neighbor going to jail eventually for it? That's just me. Like, I don't like being awakened out of my sleep. I just don't. It makes me. I'm already a naturally grumpy type of dude. Maybe it's because I don't sleep that much. So okay, but the fact that someone could potentially go to jail because they broke my sleep, I just don't see those two things as being, okay to go together. And so, I mean, if you disagree, it's fine. We can disagree with each other without being disagreeable, no matter how crazy I think you are, and you, Tony, as well. I don't agree with you all the time. That's fine. You make all the faces at me as you want. I will throw a cotton ball at you right in the face. Anyway, yeah, because it won't hurt, but it'll make my point. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. This last story I'm going to get to. I'm getting this one from therawstory.com. And Tony, I want you on this one first, since you the one that had said earlier that you got to do it before you get married, because you want to make sure that you test drive the car, make sure it ain't a lemon before you get it off the lot. Well, this one I'm getting from therawstory.com. It's about unmarried couples in Florida who may actually go to jail. Florida lawmakers have proposed legislation that would finally make it legal for unmarried couples to live together. Under current Florida law, it's punishable by $500 fine and up to 60 days in jail for an unmarried man and woman to live together. It don't say nothing about a man and a woman and a woman. So if you gay as hell and you want to live with your spouse, do what you want to do in Florida. But if you a dude and chick, yeah, don't do it, because your ass might go to jail for it.
Really?
Quote, if any man and woman not being married to each other lewdly and lasciviously associate and cohabitate together, or if any man or woman, married or unmarried, engaged in open and gross lewdness and lascivious behavior, they shall be guilty of misdemeanor of the second degree. The law states. Two Democrats, State Senator Eleanor Sobel and State Representative Rawinkel Vasalinda, he should go to jail for that name, have filed legislation to repeal the law, which has been on the books since, take a guess. It's been on the books since when?
1871.
1868. Ain't that yeah, I got to catch myself from cussing on the show. That's crazy. That's crazy. Lawmakers have proposed legislation to repeal the law before, but previous efforts have failed. I'm not ready to give up on monogamy and cultural statement that marriage still matters, State Representative Dennis Baxley said in 2011. Nearly 700 people were charged with misdemeanors between 2006 and 2011. In 2012, a, quote, concerned citizen called for Hallandale Beach City Commissioner Keith London to prosecute under law for living with the girlfriend. I don't give a darn about London's living arrangements. I may even agree that the law in question is archaic and not well suited to contemporary times, but the real story is the elected official sworn or affirmed to uphold the law is knowingly violating the law. This is what Linda Takahashi said. Yeah, this law is jacked up. It's crazy as hell. There's a bunch of prudes there. But that's my opinion. Tony, what's your opinion?
I agree. And to me, that's like forcing your own religious beliefs on other people, which I know we tend to try to do in this country a lot. But not everybody believes in marriage. And like, how do they enforce that? Do they go around like during the census? How? I don't understand.
People be snitching.
It had to be a snitch.
If your girlfriend get mad at you because you done broke up with her, you go live with the other chick, guess what? Oh, I'm telling.
And that's crazy because, and it's Florida, so it's not really a huge surprise because Florida is a very special kind of place.
Like Joe said, that's some straight up snitching.
That's snitching.
That's some snitching. How else can you explain even getting caught? Like,
yeah,
you living with your girlfriend or you living with your boyfriend, and next thing you know, 5-0's knocking on your door saying, "Y'all married? Excuse me, sir. Can you step outside?" Like, how does that conversation even go?
We could be roommates.
Now, what is cohabit? Is it cohabitation or is it if the girl come over for the night, stay here?
How would Jack Tripper work out? Like, for real? Like, if he was sitting there with Chrissy and
he was
Janet.
Gay. Remember, he played
Yeah,
gay.
Jack wasn't gay.
No, I know he won't, but
Jack
he played
was
gay.
knocking down Chrissy and Janet.
Yeah, at the
Definitely
same
Chrissy.
damn time.
Yeah, did you see Chrissy?
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
Chrissy was
about this law. 1868, it's been on the books.
Yes.
Do people, I bet you people just aren't aware of it. That's why it's still there.
No, they're aware.
I've never
Because there's some
heard
stupid
of
laws
that.
on the books in Virginia
Oh, yeah. That's
about
true.
having sex in anything but missionaries.
It's against the law to
Oh,
have
yeah,
sex with socks on.
That's
Yeah. And
You
I
knew
keep
that.
my socks on.
Yeah, I take
Never
my
know you
socks
gotta
off.
run.
Yeah, I take my socks off. I like to live on the wild side.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you know that the law in North Carolina is that you can actually take your wife to the courthouse and whoop her and beat her on Sundays?
Yeah, I do.
on Sundays.
Yeah,
Yeah, between
what,
12 and 2, you can take your wife to the courthouse, and as long as she on the steps of the courthouse, you can beat her.
there was one, I can't remember what state
Why
it
do you
was,
know that?
but a woman has to wear a corset and be escorted by a male after dark. She has to be wearing a corset
Where's
and
this?
escorted by a male after dark if she is, we did this on Conversations from Your Sisters with SYLSP on Saturdays at 3 p.m. here on Legacy Internet Radio. We did this a couple of weeks ago where we read a bunch of weird and archaic laws, and that was one that SYLSP came up with. Yeah, if you ain't got a corset,
I don't know anybody who owns a corset. That's what I'm saying.
you ain't got no corset,
You can't come out.
then your ass had to be in the house before dark. Because it's not an either or. There's a law that says both. You have to be in a corset and with a male after dark. I'm just saying.
Does a girdle count?
No.
You got to tie that joint up and be sucked in.
Yeah. And you need to be holding your breath the whole time. Like, if you seen breathing, your ass going to jail.
Dang.
And you know how Steppin Marcus J live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to transition towards the end of the show. We're going to get to our rants. We're going to get to our closes. Before we do that, I had mentioned to you earlier on in the show that tonight's show is going to be dedicated to the memory of Christopher Wallace. Many of us know him as the notorious B.I.G. I got my ideas, I got my thoughts, and I got my memories on him. But before I get to my own, I'm going to get to Big Bro Joe. Big Bro Joe, we talking about Christopher Wallace, the notorious B.I.G. Biggie. We lost him 18 years ago today. Do you have any thoughts about Biggie that you want to share as we'll get to our rants and our closes in a minute, but I want to take a minute, give each of us an opportunity. I'm dedicating tonight's show to Biggie. What's your thoughts?
Yo, all I'm going to say is, Biggie, give me one more chance. Biggie, give me one more chance. And I'm going to go back to your girl. That's what she should have told her man. Give me one more chance.
One more chance.
Give her one more chance. Yo, the notorious, I'm going to have to put it there for me. B.I.G. was the best, bar none, except for Big L. And I think they rolled in there together, but they were both cut off too short, man.
Biggie ain't no how Steppin Marcus J. Tony. Final thoughts, Biggie. Notorious B.I.G. His music's playing in the background. The last song that came out before his death, he's hypnotizing us. Biggie, any final thoughts on him?
Miss him terribly. So talented, and hip hop will be so much different if he was still here, and in a great way, I think.
No, I agree. I remember on March 9th, 1997, I woke up in Raleigh, North Carolina. I was there with one of my brothers who you guys haven't heard here on the show at all, my brother Damon. We call him Pretty Boy. We were in Raleigh, North Carolina. We had some friends down there. We were just out of college, and we were in Raleigh. We was kicking it. We was just hanging out. It was a normal, Saturday night. We woke up on Sunday. We had beepers. And so our beepers were going off, and everybody was beeping us from back home in New Jersey and New York. Was like, what the hell is going on? And, when we called check in, they was like, yo, turn on the TV. And we turned it on. We saw what had happened. And I just remember, for me, immediately, hip hop just didn't feel the same for me no more. We had just lost Tupac the year before. We had just lost Eazy-E the year before Pac. And for me, on March 9, 1997, hip-hop just wasn't as fun for me anymore. And so I just want to say what up to Biggie. You know, I know a lot of people have issues with him. He had a lot of craziness in his hip hop. But the truth of the matter is, he was a trendsetter. He was a dude who came out in 1994. He left us in 1997. He's still here. We still listening to his joints. We still knocking our heads to it. We still listening to people trying to bite his style. And that's how we used to talk back in them days. You know what I mean? And so, give a shout out, man. I'm going to give him a shout out every year on his birthday, which is in May, and I'm gonna give it a shout out in March when we lost him every single year. Ain't no how Steppin, Marcus J. Live from the Den Legacy and the Radio. It's time for us to get into our rants and closings. Big Bro Joe, you up first, man. What you got here, man? What you want to say?
Hey, I'm gonna just go back to them stupid laws real quick. It's just funny to me. I'm gonna do this one real quick. Let me clarify. I said it was legal to beat your wife on Sundays in North Carolina. I apologize. It's actually South Carolina that you can beat your wife on the courthouse lawn. So all y'all cats in South Carolina who just want to, beat your wife, wait till Sunday and you'll be okay. Now that I got that stupidness out the way, once again, I like to sit there and we had good conversations today. Even though Marcus J and I don't always see eye to eye, it's good to have a brother that you can actually communicate with and not see eye to eye and not lose your damn mind and want to go out and kill him just because you had a matter of disagreement or contention. That's what we need to look at in our today's society and teach our children, just like Selma should have taught us back then, that we are men and women of color, and we have the right to vote. We have the right to have our voices heard, and we need to make sure that we're continuously teaching our folks that that's what we need to be doing, not leaving it up to somebody else to try to give them the facts on what's going on in our world. But you know what? That's me, Big Bro Joe. Do your thing.
Tony, it's time for you to end the show with your rant. It's time for you to end the show with your closing. And you have what, my sister, to say?
As always, I had a wonderful time with yous guys. I'm so excited that spring is almost here. Like, it's just unreal. This whole winter thing is like way old and overrated, but thankfully, again, spring is almost here, and my birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited and thankful to hopefully live to see that day, and I'm thankful for all that I've experienced and all that my future holds. Everybody be safe. Deuces.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We appreciate everybody that's listening to us tonight. We appreciate the love that we've gotten. We've gotten quite a bit of it. Of course, we've got special appearance on the show tonight from our brother K-Dub and his lady, Mrs. K-Dub, Miss Sabrina. I want to give a special shout out to Big Bro Joe for being here and always holding me down. Special shout out to my sister Tony, who's here every single second Monday of the month. Give a shout out and some love to my co-host S.Y. Butler, who's not with us here tonight. We appreciate her, we miss her, we love her, and we hope to see her back here soon. Shout out to our sister Chantel, our brother Said, Mr. LP, Steven Sykes, we know was listening to us. He wanted to get in. Unfortunately, we didn't get him in at an early inappropriate time, but we know that he was listening to us, and we appreciate him. We know that our sister comedian, that's Lissa P, was listening to us tonight, First Lady of Legacy and Net Radio, and our brother BG, who hosts, or co-hosts, I should say, the pregame on Friday nights, was checking for us as well. Just kind of quick rundown of the lineup here at Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half stepping Marcus J. You're listening to us every single Monday night at 7. And live in radio with Mr. LP every single Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mr. LP's got a special co-host that's going to be debuting with him tomorrow night. So you definitely need to be listening to that so that you can hear Mr. LP Steven Sykes debut his new co-host tomorrow night on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzly and Alyssa P. Wednesdays at 7. Thursdays, All Throttle Radio. 7 p.m. At 9:30 on Thursday night, you've got the new show, The Listening Party, hip-hop, old school, beats. Got to check for those brothers. Friday night, you heard the co-host here tonight of the new show that we've got here for the last couple of months, the pregame here on Friday nights at 8 p.m., getting you ready for the weekend. You got to hear those brothers and those sisters. They wild out. On Saturdays, you've got conversations from your sisters. You've got the Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix at night. And, of course, anchoring Saturdays, you've got the Aaron Turner Show at 5 p.m. This Saturday, coming up, we've got a special engagement live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. You've got a special show. The ladies of Legacy Internet Radio are taking over once again on this Saturday at 1 p.m. You want to make sure that you're here. Hosted by comedian S. Lissa P. and the crew that she's putting together. We got a special show. We're talking about dopamine. And if you don't know what dopamine is, you need to pull up your Google and you need to look it up, because we're talking about it. We're talking about the black community. We're talking about drugs. We're talking about health. We're talking about sex. Right here on Legacy Internet Radio. Dopamine. How does dopamine play into all of those things? You got to listen to the First Lady to hear about it right here on Legacy Internet Radio. Of course, on Sundays, we playing the gospel music all single day. On Sundays, you've got 24 hours of gospel. You've got the sermons. You got gospel music. Everything that you will expect from Amplified Gospel, we bringing it here on Sundays, every single Sunday. So that's it. That's the show. That's the lineup. It's time for me to kind of close out the show with my rant and my closing. As I have been recently, I'm going to be brief. I first want to kind of start off by offering the condolences from me, as well as the Legacy Internet Radio family, to the family of Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy. Many people don't know who that is. But if you've heard the phrase, live long and prosper, if you have ever watched Star Trek, then you know who Leonard Nimoy is. Leonard Nimoy played Mr. Spock, the half Vulcan, half human man that was the second in command to the Enterprise on the TV show Star Trek and all the movies. Of course, there was a ton of them. I loved them. Here's the deal, man. I've never really been public about my love for Star Trek and all that kind of stuff, but the reason why I want to bring it up is, it's always a socially conscious connection for me, and today is no different. You got a whole bunch of conservatives that want to connect the President of the United States of America to Mr. Spock. They want to say that Mr. Spock was logical and distant and cold, and since the President of the United States has similar traits, that it's a problem. President Obama actually said himself, he marked the passing of Leonard Nimoy with a statement released by the White House saying, quote, long before being nerdy was cool, there was Leonard Nimoy. Leonard was a lifelong lover of the arts and humanity and supporter of the sciences, and generous with his talents and his time. And of course, Leonard was Spock. Cool, logical, big-eared, and level-headed. The center of Star Trek's optimistic, inclusive vision of humanity's future. I love Spock. That's what the President of the United States said. Loved. As if on cue, conservatives have lined up to remember Spock as basically a pointy-eared version of what they believe Obama to be. Matthew Continetti, who's a writer for the conservative paper, the Washington Free Beacon, summed up the sentiments with an astoundingly sad article titled, I Don't Love Spock, saying in part, quote, I am also a fan of Star Trek, but I admit I was somewhat confused by my rather apathetic reaction to Nimoy's death. And I thought more about the president's statement. I realized he identifies with the very aspects of Spock's character that annoy me. I don't love Spock at all. End quote. Mistaking his own apathy towards the death of a fellow person as a sign that he was on to something, he details the various ways Spock, the half Vulcan living and working in deep space in the 24th century, as too liberal to ever be loved by conservatives. Let's just say that his examples, to borrow a phrase, are, quote, my quote, highly illogical. Quote, not only do Spock's peacenik inclinations routinely land the Enterprise and the Federation into trouble, his logic and level head mask an arrogant, emotional basket case. Unlike the superhuman android Data, a loyal officer whose deepest longing is to be human, Spock spends most of his life as a freelancing diplomat, eager to negotiate with the worst enemies of the Starfleet. End quote. Is this dude really trying to connect the president of the United States with a fictional character, and he's trying to downplay his love for a character that he's likely liked and loved his entire life, just so that he can speak to his listeners and followers about his negative feelings towards the president of the United States? Come on, man, that's some bullshit. And this is what they do. It's politics. It's partisan. And it's not cool. Anytime that you want to be so out front about your hatred for a politician, whether he be the black president of the United States or the white police chief, if you will use the death of someone, whether it be a prominent someone that we've all heard of, or just some random person who was called home, and you use that as your opportunity to be nasty and to be hateful, you, my friend, are the lowest level of humanity, and I got no use for you. And I'm hoping that the listeners of Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J have no use for you either. That's the murder. Marcus's unrelated rant that ain't got nothing to do with what we here talking about tonight. It's the end of the show. I want to thank everybody that's been listening. If you've missed any portion of the show, you can listen to it in its entirety immediately following the ending of our show right here live on Legacy Internet Radio, live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. We upload everything to YouTube, y'all. So check out our fan pages. Check out our Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J fan page on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We out there. We in social media. So if you can't find us, it's because you ain't looking hard enough. I want to say that independence is key to building your legacy. I also want to say peace to all the stars and all the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. We'll be back here next week. Peace.